Right, just a little follow-up video to the 3 hour modding stream that didn't really accomplish much. It was fun to do, and it broke my brain because I was already tired. But this is basically, you can see the sculpting clay there, the grey stuff, and I cut a lot of it off, and then resculpted it, and then put in some detail today. That only took about half an hour, and then I mixed up some of the green stuff because at the sides there it was kind of like a V shape. It was sort of tapering into the neck. I wanted it more sort of that shape that it is now. So those little bits I've just added on with some leftover green stuff. The sculpting clay I've cooked with hairdryer, and this stuff here it's been mixed up for about, I'd say, 2 or 3 hours. So it's still workable. So it's not as bad as I first thought. I've used it a few times before, but I just couldn't remember the actual working times with it. I've still got a little bit left over, so I could still add some. It's quite hard now, but the more you work it, the more you heat it up with your friction. It becomes more malleable. And here's the other Joker head. As you can see, the green stuff on there. It's quite easy to use, really. I find it easier to sculpt with than the Super Sculpey, to be honest. So if anybody wants to try to get into sculpting, I'd suggest this stuff. It is a bit hard to get used to. It is quite tacky, so you have to keep sort of wetting the tool or dipping your tool in water, and that helps it stop sticking to the tool and pulling off. It's kind of like working with like a more dense blue tack or white tack. Don't know what Americans call it. They call it something else, don't they? Silly putty. It's like silly putty, but more dense. So yeah, you've got to leave a bit of a channel to accommodate the clothing. And pretty happy with the results, to be honest. I haven't really got anywhere. Oh, I've got some. I'll put it on the body and show you in a sec. So as you can see, not too bad at all. Does make a huge difference. Still sitting a little bit high, and I could do with taking some off the bottom of it, but I'm thinking of using this head sculpt with the other clothing set, so I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But as you can see, the scale of it looks more, it looks much better. Much better? Yeah, much better. The head and the body and the clothes do seem more in proportion now, and it gives a more, the head sculpt was throwing off the proportions. The suit is pretty decent proportion wise. It is a bit baggy, but it all looks good together. So that's that one. Let me just swap out the other one. The trouble I've had. I just ended up throwing this on the floor and getting it covered in fluff and all sorts of shit. As you can see, yeah, it's a bit bright with the flash on, but let's give you a pan. It does make the figure look more in proportion. So yeah, that green stuff, I'll put a link up to it. can find it on eBay pretty cheap. Get a sculpting tool. You can get something as basic as a piece of plastic. You know, you can get really cheap dental tools for less than a £5 for the ones you need. But you could use anything. Getting the fine detail was a lot easier with this stuff than the Super Sculpey I found. But it's harder. You can push it around more. You can pull it, and it just does what you want it to do. So obviously, it looks. Focus. I can't just leave it like this. I have to repaint it. You see the paint job on this Toy Zero head's pretty good. You've got like a dark green and then little strands of like dry brushing with light green. So I'll do the same. I might repaint, touch up the face a bit. Don't know why, but preferring this head now. It's the same head, so maybe it does need a repaint. And the paintwork on this head is not too bad. I think if I get the clothing set for this, it will look pretty decent. So there's the two heads. And the two methods I used, Super Sculpey and green stuff, whatever the proper name for it is. For some reason I like the hair on this one better. Maybe it's got that little kick. Maybe I'll when this is properly cured, I'll go in with a Dremel and reshape it. I kind of like the sort of wet look, flat to the side of the head look, so it's nice to have a little bit of variation. So yeah, got that Toy Centre suit coming, probably be, I don't know, at least a week. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that looks. And I'll probably have 3 Joker figures at some point. And I don't know if I want to keep all 3 of them, so out of all the looks, I think I like the the Murray Show look. I think it'll be my favourite, and I might repaint the smiling head to go with that scene. Alright, just a quick look. Thanks for watching. Any questions, comment down below. Thanks a lot. Take it easy.